Hello, Sunray Alive. It's part of my life diary series, and today we're gonna talk about how moving countries really changed me and shaped me into who I am today. Someone I'm really proud of, someone that really fights me. I wouldn't ask for this again, guys. I went through a lot, so I wouldn't say I'd do it over and over again. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. But yes, if I were to do it again, I'd choose not to do some things I've done. Yes, I choose not to meet certain people I've met. I choose not to have certain friendships. Let 'em sleep, baby, you're sleeping on you. You regret it, see your phone now. It really changed me so much as a person because I couldn't recognize myself at first. Life really, really changed for me. I went from being a bubbly person to being someone who rarely speaks. I went from someone who was very social to being someone who was antisocial, and I feel like I still am antisocial because right now I find it so hard. I find it so hard to have social interactions and actually interacting with people. I went from someone who was really bubbly to someone who was really quiet. As you know, like life in SA and Mozambique is really different. Before moving, I thought everything would fall into place instantly, but I was really out of place with it. And I found myself without friends the first months of being here in a place I knew no one, in an environment where it felt really different. And I just felt like I didn't really belong here at first. I was like young and growing into my first teen years, so I was really trying to like develop as a girl, know myself as a person, but I always had an ambition, and that ambition was to like always study abroad, right? Like being in SA, I didn't know how I wanted to do it, but all I knew is that I just really wanted to go out of the world, explore the world. As I was a Bollywood fan, being a Bollywood fan also like encouraged me to wanna see the world. But being here, I actually found ways. I researched more about it, and right now I can tell you that it's so much easier to have a picture of what I want. Being here really forced me to get out of my comfort zone. It really forced me, to think ahead, to to actually be ambitious about stuff. Because I put myself out there. I learned a lot of skills, and I'm still learning and developing my skills. I'm still learning and develop my skills. I actually learned how to bake being here, and it wasn't something I would voluntarily learn in SA because in SA life was just so fun. Life was just so nice. As a student, I used to come back from school with a lot of social interactions. The high school I was in, it was the best. And sometimes when I look back, I just there is that regret that says if only I studied there because I see my friends now they're doing their matric, their last day of school, and it looks very nice. I feel so happy for them. Deep down, I wanted to be there with them. I wanted to experience it because the experience here, it's especially in my school where I'm studying, it's very draining. First months of being here, I was so depressed. I moved here when I was 13 years. I was so depressed. I was so sad being here. And the people here just looked at me as weird or maniac because I had a different energy. I had the South African energy. South Africans, they're not afraid to speak. They are bubbly people. They are social. And people here just looked at me like I was crazy or too hyper. And it actually made me tone down a bit. And I really didn't like it because I was used to that environment. South Africa is home for me. So yeah, can I say Mozambique is now home? No, I can't. Not to lie, I can't. I just love it there. I also love it here. How it also changed me mentally is I had a mentality that I was just a kid. I was just learning through life, but I had to change mentally, especially as a firstborn daughter. Mentally, I had to put myself really up out there with the situations. We went through a lot of hardships with my mother being here. Life quickly became bitter for us being here. So I really had to put myself out there as his firstborn daughter. I had to stand. I had to, be willing. You know how being a firstborn daughter is. You're not allowed to have a childhood like a normal child. So probably why sometimes I feel like my mentality is not like for my age and how I emotionally felt. I was so depressed. I didn't have no friends, the social life, even at school. Especially I was in a class where we are just nine in class. So can you imagine that? The competition. Okay, first the first few months the teachers liked me. I had that South African enthusiasm, you know. I used to study ahead, homeworks on time, participate in class. Yeah, they were very competitive, especially when it came to homework assignments. And it really made me feel good because competition is good for you. It really put me out of my comfort zone. But at some point I started dropping, they started complaining. You know, I just got used to the ambience around me. Like it is now, I don't know. I just stopped doing like things on time. Also, like but I'd say like really moving countries really shaped me a lot as a person. Forced me out of my comfort zone. I had to learn. I had to stick to uncomfortable situations. You know, so it's really nice. I would say being here really shaped me into someone I wouldn't think of becoming if I was in SA. It really like it pulled me out of my comfort zone. It didn't really even take me out, it just pulled me out of my comfort zone. And today I can tell you I learned how to bake at such a young age, and I'm really enthusiastic about it. Mind you, I'm really like I can bake a full cake and paint it for you like a professional. I learned how to make various dishes. Something I was really ambitious about it. I've always liked cooking, but being here, my cooking skills really like advanced because I was exposed to opportunities. Yes, being in Mozambique is one of the best things that has happened to me in my life. Yes, I've gone through a lot of hardships being here, but it shaped me into someone I wouldn't be being in my comfort zone. I don't know if you get me, right? I now I've owned like three businesses in the past 2 years. I was selling thrift clothes. I used to bake, you know, for parties, children, people for their birthday cakes. I still do bake. I was so ambitious, and at some point, I wanted to learn how to do nails, but hey, it wasn't for me. But like imagine I wouldn't have acquired all those skills if I was there, because most of the time the acquiring such skills, it just requires you also to see, you know, you just do it when you see that, oh, it's time out for games, it's now time to start doing something for the future, and that's how you stand up. Now you do short courses, you do what. But for me it started at like I think I was 15. Yes, I was 15. But it also brought me close to God because I knew God. At some point, I stopped going for I'm a Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm JW. So I stopped going for our weekday and Sunday meetings. I just felt out of place. I just felt incomplete. My routine was come back from school, sleep, eat, make a few TikToks. You know, really, yeah, it really shaped me a lot. Had to step up as a big sister. Urge to be independent really started sucking in. You know, it really started sucking in because I really knew that, you know what, no one is coming to save me, no one is going to do things for me. I really started to do myself things for myself, especially as a girl child. Then when I started learning how to bake, but over time, yes, I made friends, honestly, and I wouldn't be much grateful for the friends that I've made. Shout out to all of my friends. Really made my time being here much easier. I can say I have sisters and brothers I can rely on being here, and it's the best thing in the world. Trust me. And yes, tomorrow, guys, is a video for you. It's gonna be an outdoors video. So tomorrow we are going to a soccer ball match, and gonna be one of the sellers or the vendors, and I'll be selling cupcakes, and I don't know what else. I still haven't decided, but it's 5 p.m. So I have to decide. I'm gonna start, and I just hope you guys watch the video and you enjoy it. It's gonna be, I don't know, my second outdoor video because I know being, yeah, it's a bit tiring. I know, but you know, I'm a student, so sometimes the situation doesn't allow for me to be outdoors. You know, the fans. As I say, money is essential. It's essential. There's no one coming to save me. So it's time I started being independent. It's time I looked for something to do. I remember my first business was a baking business. Yes, I was selling uh, snowballs, cupcakes. I was selling germ tarts. You know, I was really happy. I learned how to make samosas. I learned how to bake as a pro. And I had times, I remember this one time, I flopped an order. Okay, you know what? The cupcake turned out good. It was a cupcake order. It's supposed to be a Barcelona theme. What happened is we didn't have a fridge at the time. We had a deep freezer. A deep freezer. Is it a deep freezer or a deep freezer? But we had a deep freezer, right? And the deep freezer, it doesn't go well with cream. So I had to make cream from scratch because baking things are so expensive, and the price I had charged for that, it was a bit low. So I had to make the cream from scratch. The cream, it was flopping 2 hours from the client to come get it. Then it was so hot that day. Here it's hot. The deep freezer just melted everything. When I put it, it was melting. That day I really felt like crying, but my mom was so like, she was so supportive. She was helping me. The client called, and unfortunately, I had to cancel the order because one thing about me, I give up at some point. My mom was like, "No, let me help you." She tried, help failed, we failed. I'm sorry, guys, for the noise. It's bikes, you know. Here, our mode of transport mostly it's bikes, so yeah, we failed and I had to cancel the order, but still I still said I made this purple birthday cake. That was one of my cakes that I love the most. I was really so proud of myself. I really felt like, yes, this is me. And now I can say being here really taught me a lot, and I learned two additional languages. So now I'm multilingual. I speak four languages. I wouldn't be more thankful or grateful to God because I became so closer to Him. I started praying more. I started, seeking God more, and I just became so close to Him. And this year, I started going consistently to the JW Hall meetings, and I've been happy because I remember being JW is what saved me from depression even when I was young. And you guys can be saying, "Oh, you're 17 years old. What do you know about depression?" It's okay, guys. It's okay. But I'm happy. I'm happy to be such out of that place. And I'd say Mozambique. At some point, I wanted to learn how to braid myself like no one's business. I was like, I'm gonna learn how to braid myself. I even bought combs, crochets, and my first attempt was I wanted it to be bantu knots, but I gave up. But one thing I'd say I want to learn right now it's swimming. I want to learn how to swim, and then I want to learn how to do my makeup. Those are my two goals for the year. And although I'm doing my last year of high school, it's gonna be hard incorporating everything, but I'll try. I'll try. Overall, being in Mozambique really influenced my life for the positive. Of course, life is full of negatives and positives, but it really pushed me towards the positive a lot, and I wouldn't be more grateful. If you want live content about life in Mozambique unfiltered, please do subscribe and turn on your post notifications.
Coming like a thief in the night. Hold up on my phone. 16 missed calls. Sorry I was busy, but I